My name is Vanessa Chen, and I'm a successful corporate lawyer in Seattle. 3 weeks ago, I came home from a business trip a day early and found my fiancé Marcus in bed with my best friend Tara. That moment shattered my heart into a million pieces, but what I discovered in the hours that followed, that's what made me decide to destroy them both. Let me tell you about the night I walked into my own bedroom and found the two people I loved most in the world betraying me. And let me tell you about what I found on Marcus's laptop that changed everything. It was a Thursday evening. I'd been in San Francisco for depositions all week, scheduled to return Friday night. But the opposing counsel agreed to settle, so my work finished a day early. I texted Marcus that I was catching an earlier flight and would be home by 8 p.m. He never responded to that text. I thought maybe he was busy at work. I landed in Seattle at 7:45 p.m. and took an Uber home to the condo Marcus and I shared. We'd been engaged for 6 months, living together for 2 years, dating for 4 years total. Our wedding was planned for 2 months away, a big ceremony, 200 guests, deposits paid on everything. I walked into our condo at 8:30 p.m. The living room was dark. I called out, "Marcus, I'm home." No answer. I walked down the hallway toward our bedroom. I heard sounds, laughter, music playing softly. I pushed open the bedroom door. Marcus was in our bed with Tara, my fiancé and my best friend, together, in the bed where I slept every night. They didn't even hear me open the door at first. They were too wrapped up in each other. I stood frozen in the doorway, unable to process what I was seeing. This couldn't be real. This had to be a nightmare. Then Tara looked up and saw me. Her eyes went wide. "Oh my God, Vanessa." Marcus jumped up, scrambling to cover himself. "Vanessa, what are you? You're not supposed to be home until tomorrow." That's what he said. Not "I'm sorry," not "this isn't what it looks like," but "you're not supposed to be home." Like I was the problem for catching them. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I just stood there staring at them. Tara grabbed her clothes from the floor and ran past me into the bathroom. Marcus got out of bed, pulling on his pants, reaching for me. "Vanessa, let me explain." "Don't touch me," I said, finding my voice. It sounded cold, distant, like it belonged to someone else. "It's not what you think," Marcus said desperately. It just happened." "How long?" I asked. "What?" "How long has this been going on?" I repeated, my voice still eerily calm. Marcus looked away. "Vanessa." "How long?" "6 months," he whispered. 6 months. Half the time we'd been engaged. They'd been sleeping together since the week after he proposed to me. I turned and walked out of the bedroom. I heard Marcus calling after me, but I didn't stop. I went into the guest room, locked the door, and sat on the bed. I didn't cry. I was too shocked to cry. I just sat there, staring at the wall, trying to understand how my entire life had just fallen apart. Before we continue this story and find out how Vanessa destroyed both of them, make sure you subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that like button and turn on a notifications bell because this revenge story is going to blow your mind. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from: United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Philippines, Jamaica. Let me know who's with me. Now let's get back to Vanessa's story. 30 minutes later, there was a knock on the guest room door. "Vanessa, please, let me explain," Marcus said from the hallway. "Go away," I said. "We need to talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about." "Vanessa, I love you. This thing with Tara, it's complicated. But I still love you. I still want to marry you." I opened the door. Marcus was standing there, fully dressed now, looking desperate and pathetic. "You still want to marry me?" I repeated incredulously. "Yes," Marcus said. "Vanessa, you're the one I want to spend my life with. Tara is just, it's physical, it doesn't mean anything." "Where is she?" I asked. "She left," Marcus said. "She felt terrible. She wanted to talk to you, but I told her to go." "How convenient," I said. "So now you can control the narrative." "That's not what I'm doing," Marcus protested. Vanessa, listen to me. This was a mistake, a huge mistake, but we can get past this. We can go to counseling. We can fix this. Fix this, I said, my voice rising. You slept with my best friend in our bed for 6 months and you think we can fix this? People make mistakes, Marcus said. People cheat. It happens. But that doesn't mean we throw away 4 years together. That doesn't mean we cancel our wedding. I stared at him. He genuinely believed we could just move past this. He genuinely thought I would forgive him and marry him anyway. Get out, I said quietly. Vanessa. Get out of this condo, I said louder. Get out right now. This is my home too, Marcus said, his tone changing from pleading to defensive. My name is on the lease. You can't just kick me out. Watch me, I said. Get out or I'm calling the police. For what? Marcus challenged. I didn't commit a crime. Cheating isn't illegal. He was right. Legally, I couldn't force him to leave. We both had equal rights to be in the condo. Fine, I said. Then I'll leave. I grabbed my suitcase, still packed from my trip, and walked out of the guest room past Marcus toward the front door. Where are you going? Marcus called after me. Anywhere but here, I said. Vanessa, don't be ridiculous. It's 9 p.m. Where are you going to go? I turned back to look at him. You know what, Marcus? That's not your problem anymore. You made your choice. You chose Tara so you can have her. You can have this condo. You can have everything. I'm done. I walked out and slammed the door behind me. I checked into a hotel near my office. I sat on the bed, still not crying, still too shocked to process everything. My phone started buzzing. Text from Marcus. Vanessa, please come back. Let's talk about this like adults. You're overreacting. We can work through this. Fine, be dramatic, but you're going to regret walking out like this. Then text from Tara. Vanessa, I'm so sorry. I never meant for this to happen. Please talk to me. Let me explain. You're my best friend. I can't lose you. I blocked both of their numbers. Then I called my sister Diana. She lived in Portland, about 3 hours away. Vanessa, what's wrong? Diana answered immediately. It was almost 10 p.m. She knew I wouldn't call this late unless something was wrong. Marcus cheated on me, I said, my voice cracked. With Tara. What? Diana said. Oh my God, Vanessa, are you okay? Where are you? I told her everything. About coming home early. About finding them together. About Marcus saying he still wanted to marry me. That piece of garbage, Diana said. Vanessa, I'm so sorry. What do you need? Do you want me to drive up there? No, I said. I'm okay. I just needed to tell someone. Are you really okay? Diana asked gently. You sound calm, too calm. I'm in shock, I admitted. I don't think it's fully hit me yet. We talked for another hour. Diana made me promise to call her in the morning. After we hung up, I finally started crying. I cried for the relationship I'd lost, for the future I'd planned, for the wedding that would never happen, for the trust that had been shattered. I cried until I fell asleep, exhausted. I woke up Friday morning with swollen eyes and a pounding headache. I called my office and told them I was taking a personal day. Then I just lay in the hotel bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to figure out what to do next. My first thought was practical. I needed to get my things from the condo. I needed to find a new place to live. I needed to cancel the wedding. But as the morning went on, my shock started turning into something else. Anger. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. Marcus and Tara had betrayed me for 6 months. 6 months of lying to my face. 6 months of sneaking around behind my back. 6 months of making a fool of me while they laughed about it together. And Marcus thought he could just apologize and we'd move on. He thought I'd marry him anyway. No, that wasn't going to happen. I decided I wasn't just going to walk away. I wasn't going to be the heartbroken victim who ran away crying while they got to stay together and be happy. I was going to make them pay for what they'd done. But I needed to be smart about it. I needed to figure out exactly how to hurt them the most. Around noon, I got an idea. A terrible, vengeful idea, but also a brilliant one. I needed to get back into the condo. I needed to look through Marcus's things. Because if Marcus had been lying to me for 6 months about Tara, what else might he have been lying about? That afternoon, while Marcus was at work, I went back to the condo. I still had my key. Technically, I also had every right to be there. My name was on the lease too. I let myself in. The place was a mess. Marcus clearly hadn't cleaned up after Tara left the night before. There were wine glasses in the kitchen, clothes on the floor. I felt sick looking at it, but I forced myself to focus. I went to Marcus's home office. He worked as a financial consultant and did a lot of work from home. His laptop was on his desk. I knew Marcus's laptop password. We'd shared passwords early in our relationship. He'd never changed it as far as I knew. I opened his laptop and typed in the password. It worked. I started going through his files. Emails, documents. I wasn't even sure what I was looking for, just anything that might be useful. And then I found something. Something that made me realize the affair with Tara wasn't the worst thing Marcus had done. I found emails between Marcus and someone named Richard Chen. The emails dated back 8 months. Richard Chen was my father. My father, who I hadn't spoken to in 10 years. My father, who had disowned me when I was 22 because I refused to go into the family business and chose to become a lawyer instead. My father, who told me I was dead to him. Why was Marcus emailing with my father? I started reading the emails, and with each one, my horror grew. The emails were about money, large amounts of money. 8 months ago, Marcus had contacted my father. He'd introduced himself as my fiancé and told my father that we were getting married. My father had responded. He'd said he was happy I'd found someone. He'd asked Marcus to come meet him in Portland. Marcus had gone, without telling me. In the meeting, my father had made Marcus an offer. If Marcus married me, my father would give Marcus $2 million. It was essentially a dowry. But there was a catch. My father wanted Marcus to convince me to reconcile with the family, to give up my law career and come work in the family business, to stop this foolish independence and come home where I belonged. Marcus had agreed. The emails over the following months showed Marcus reporting back to my father about his progress, working on me, about how he was slowly convincing Vanessa to consider reaching out to the family. Except Marcus had never said anything to me about my father. He'd never encouraged me to reconcile. He'd barely even asked about my family. Because Marcus wasn't actually trying to get me to reconcile. He was just pretending to try so he could collect the money. And there was more. Recent emails from 3 weeks ago showed Marcus and my father discussing the wedding. My father planned to attend. He planned to give Marcus the $2 million after the wedding as agreed. But there was another email. This one from just 2 weeks ago, Marcus writing to my father. I'm having second thoughts about the arrangement. Vanessa is very stubborn about her family situation. I don't think I can deliver on getting her back into the family business. I've tried everything. Maybe we should renegotiate the terms. My father's response. We had an agreement. You marry her, you get the money. What you do after that is your business. But I'm not paying you if you don't marry her. No wedding, no money. Marcus's reply. Understood. The wedding is still on. I'll make sure it happens. I sat staring at the laptop screen, my hands shaking. Marcus hadn't proposed to me because he loved me. He'd proposed because my father had offered him $2 million to marry me. Our entire engagement had been a business transaction. I was just a commodity being traded between my fiancé and my estranged father. And then I found one more email. This one from just last week, Marcus writing to someone else, a woman named Jennifer Stevens. Can't wait to see you this weekend. Just have to get through this wedding farce and then I'll finally be free to be with you. 2 months and then it's all over. We can take the money and disappear together like we planned. Jennifer Stevens, not Tara, a third woman, someone Marcus was apparently planning to run away with after the wedding. I kept digging. I found more emails. Marcus and Jennifer had been planning this for months. They were going to get married in secret after Marcus's wedding to me. They were going to take the $2 million from my father, drain my bank accounts, max out my credit cards, and disappear to the Cayman Islands together. Marcus had never loved me. He'd been using me. And Tara, she was just someone he'd been sleeping with on the side while planning to steal everything from me. I sat in Marcus's office, reading email after email, feeling my heartbreak transform into something cold and sharp. They'd broken my heart, all of them. Marcus, Tara, even my father, who saw me as nothing more than property to be bought and sold. But now I knew their plans, and I was going to break those plans into pieces. I pulled out my phone and took pictures of every email, every document, every piece of evidence. Then I closed Marcus's laptop, stood up, and smiled for the first time since catching them together. They wanted to play games. Fine, I was a corporate lawyer, I knew how to play games, and I played to win. By the time I was done with them, they were going to wish they'd never met me. Vanessa just discovered her fiancé was marrying her for $2 million from her estranged father, and he's planning to run away with a third woman. If you need to know how she destroys all of them, subscribe now. Hit that like button and turn on NOTFICTONS. Comment below, what would you do in Vanessa's situation? Where are you watching from? After discovering Marcus's scheme, I didn't confront him immediately. That would have been the emotional response. Instead, I did what I do best as a lawyer. I built a case. I spent the entire weekend in that hotel room planning my revenge. Not just against Marcus, but against everyone who'd betrayed me. Marcus, Tara, my father, even Jennifer Stevens, whoever she was. They'd all conspired to use me. Now I was going to use them against each other. By Monday morning, I had a plan. A beautiful, devastating plan that would destroy all of them while leaving me completely protected. Let me tell you how I did it. Monday morning, I called Marcus. He'd been texting me all weekend, alternating between apologetic and angry messages. I'd ignored all of them. Vanessa, Marcus answered immediately. Thank God, I've been so worried about you. Where are you? I'm at a hotel, I said. My voice was calm, almost emotionless. We need to talk. Yes, absolutely, Marcus said eagerly. I've been wanting to talk. Vanessa, I'm so sorry. I know I messed up, but we can fix this. I'm not calling to fix anything, I interrupted. I'm calling because I need to get my things from the condo. I want to know when you'll be at work so I can come by without seeing you. There was silence. Then Marcus said, his voice changing, so that's it. You're just giving up on us, on 4 years together. You gave up on us when you slept with Tara, I said flatly. That was a mistake, Marcus said, his voice rising. A stupid mistake, but Vanessa, I love you, I want to marry you. Doesn't that count for anything? No, I said, it doesn't, not anymore. You're really going to throw away our entire future because of one mistake? Marcus asked. Now his tone was getting angry. You know what? Fine, be that way. But don't come crying to me when you realize you gave up the best thing that ever happened to you. I almost laughed at that. The best thing that ever happened to me. A man who was marrying me for money and planning to rob me blind. But I couldn't laugh. Not yet. I needed Marcus to believe I was genuinely heartbroken and walking away. So I played the part. I'll come by Wednesday afternoon to get my things, I said, letting my voice crack slightly. Please don't be there. Whatever, Marcus said coldly. Do what you want, I don't care anymore. He hung up. Perfect. That was exactly the reaction I needed. Marcus thought I was defeated. He thought I was just another heartbroken woman running away from a cheating fiancé. He had no idea what was coming. Monday afternoon, I met with a private investigator named David Park. I'd used his services before for cases at my law firm. He was excellent at digging up information discreetly. Ms. Chen, good to see you again, David said as we sat in his office. Though I'm surprised this isn't about a case. Your assistant said this was personal. It is, I said. I handed him a folder. I need you to investigate 3 people. Marcus Rivera, my ex-fiancé. Tara Williams, my former best friend. And Jennifer Stevens, I don't know much about her yet, but I have reason to believe she's involved with Marcus. David opened the folder and looked at the photos and information I'd compiled. What exactly are you looking for? Everything, I said. Financial records, employment history, social media, phone records if you can get them, current whereabouts of Jennifer Stevens, any connection between Marcus and Tara before 3 weeks ago, anything that might be useful. Can I ask what this is about? David asked. I told him everything, the affair, the emails with my father, the plan to steal my money and run away with Jennifer. David's expression darkened. That's one of the worst things I've heard, and I've heard a lot in this job. Can you help me? I asked. Absolutely, David said. Give me 1 week, I'll get you everything you need. I need it in 3 days, I said. Wednesday at the latest. That's a tight timeline, David said, hesitating. I pulled out my checkbook. I'll pay triple your normal rate, whatever it takes. I need this information by Wednesday. David looked at the check I was writing. Then he nodded. I'll have it by Wednesday morning. Monday evening, I decided to deal with Tara. I needed her to think she'd destroyed our friendship permanently. I needed her to believe I'd never forgive her. I went to the coffee shop where Tara and I used to meet every Tuesday for years. I knew she'd be there. She was a creature of habit. Sure enough, Tara was sitting at our usual table, staring at her phone. She looked up when I walked in and her face went pale. Vanessa, she said, standing up quickly. Oh my God, I didn't think you'd come here. This is where we always, I didn't think. Sit down, Tara, I said coldly. Tara sat down slowly. I sat across from her. I wanted to see you face to face, I said, because I need you to understand something. Vanessa, I'm so sorry, Tara started crying immediately. I never meant for this to happen. Marcus and I, it just happened. We didn't plan it. We tried to stop, but we couldn't. I don't care, I interrupted. I don't care how it started. I don't care if you planned it or if it just happened. I don't care if you're sorry. Then why are you here? Tara asked, wiping her tears. To tell you that we're done, I said. Our friendship is over. Permanently. I don't want to see you. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want anything to do with you ever again. Vanessa, please, Tara begged. You're my best friend. You've been my best friend since college. I can't lose you. I know I messed up, but please, can't we try to fix this? No, I said simply. You chose Marcus over me. You made your choice. Now you get to live with the consequences. I didn't choose him over you, Tara protested. Vanessa, I love him. I know that's horrible to say, but I do. I've been in love with him for over a year. I tried to fight it, but I couldn't. That was interesting. Over a year. So it had been going on even longer than Marcus had admitted. Does Marcus know you're in love with him? I asked. Tara looked down. I've told him. He says he has feelings for me too. He says after the wedding gets canceled, we're going to be together. I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Tara genuinely believed Marcus loved her back. She had no idea about Jennifer Stevens. She had no idea Marcus was using both of us. Good luck with that, I said, standing up. You two deserve each other. I walked out of the coffee shop, leaving Tara crying at the table. Perfect. She believed I was devastated and cutting her off forever. She had no idea I'd just gotten valuable information, confirmation that the affair had been going on for over a year, which would be useful later. Tuesday morning, I did something I never thought I'd do again. I called my father. Richard Chen, CEO of Chen Industries, a manufacturing company worth hundreds of millions of dollars. A man who disowned me 10 years ago because I dared to make my own choices. A man who'd been bribing my fiancé to control me. His assistant answered. Chen Industries, how may I direct your call? This is Vanessa Chen, I said. I need to speak with Richard Chen. Tell him it's his daughter. There was a pause. 1 moment, please. I was put on hold for several minutes. Then my father's voice came on the line. Vanessa. His voice was cold, formal, like he was speaking to a business associate, not his daughter. This is unexpected. Hello, father, I said, keeping my voice equally cold. To what do I owe this call? He asked. Have you finally come to your senses about the family business? No, I said. I'm calling about Marcus. Another pause. What about Marcus? I know about your arrangement with him, I said. I know you offered him $2 million to marry me. Silence. Then my father said carefully, I see. And how did you find out about that? That's not important, I said. What's important is that I'm calling to tell you the deal is off. Marcus and I are no longer engaged. The wedding is canceled, so you can keep your $2 million. Why did you break off the engagement? My father asked. His tone gave nothing away. Because I found out he was cheating on me, I said. Multiple times, with multiple women. I see, my father said. Well, that is unfortunate. Marcus seemed like a suitable match. A suitable match, I repeated incredulously. Father, you paid him to marry me. You treated me like property, like something you could buy and control. I was trying to help you, my father said, his voice hardening. You've been stubborn and foolish for 10 years, refusing to come home, refusing to be part of this family. I thought if you had a husband, a stable marriage, you might finally grow up and see reason. You thought you could control me through Marcus, I corrected. You thought you could buy my obedience. Is that so wrong? My father demanded. You're my daughter. Everything I've built will be yours someday. But not if you continue this ridiculous career, not if you continue refusing to be part of the family business. I don't want anything from you, I said. I never have. That's what you've never understood. I don't want your money or your company. I just wanted you to respect my choices. Respect has to be earned, my father said. You haven't earned it. And you haven't earned a relationship with me, I shot back. Father, I called to tell you that your plan failed. Marcus and I are done. He won't be getting your money, and you won't be getting control over me. I just wanted you to know that. I hung up before he could respond. I sat in my hotel room, my hands shaking. That conversation had been harder than I'd expected. Part of me had hoped, stupidly, that my father might actually care that Marcus had hurt me, that he might show some paternal concern. But no, all he cared about was his plan failing. All he cared about was control. Well, I just planted a seed. My father now believed the wedding was canceled and Marcus wouldn't be getting the $2 million. That would cause problems between them. That was part of my plan. Wednesday morning, David Park called me. Ms. Chen, I have the information you requested. Can you come to my office? I went immediately. David had 3 thick folders waiting for me. I've got everything, David said. And honestly, it's worse than you thought. He opened the first folder. Marcus Rivera. Let's start with him. Financially, he's in terrible shape. He's $180,000 in debt. Credit cards, personal loans, car payments on that expensive BMW he drives. He's been living way beyond his means for years. How has he been hiding that from me? I asked. He has separate bank accounts you didn't know about, David explained. When you moved in together, he kept his main checking account separate and opened a joint account with you that he only uses for shared expenses. So you never saw his real financial situation. David pulled out more documents. He's also been gambling, a lot. Online poker, sports betting. He's lost over $50,000 in the past year alone. I felt sick. I'd been living with Marcus for 2 years and had no idea about any of this. Now, Jennifer Stevens, David continued, opening the second folder. She's 35, works as a real estate agent in Portland. She and Marcus met about a year ago when Marcus was looking at investment properties. They've been having an affair since then. So Marcus has been juggling me, Tara, and Jennifer, I said. Yes, David confirmed. But here's the interesting part. Jennifer is also married. Her husband is Thomas Stevens, a wealthy developer. Jennifer and Marcus have been planning to both divorce their partners, take as much money as they can, and run away together. And Jennifer's husband doesn't know, I asked. No idea, David said. I looked into Thomas Stevens. He's completely clueless. Nice guy. Successful. No idea his wife is planning to rob him and disappear. What about Tara? I asked. David opened the third folder. Tara Williams. This one's sad, honestly. She's genuinely in love with Marcus. Has been for over 2 years according to her journal entries that I obtained. You broke into her apartment, I asked. I prefer the term conducted a thorough investigation, David said with a slight smile. Anyway, Tara's not part of any scheme. She's just genuinely in love with Marcus. She believes he loves her too and they're going to be together. She has no idea about Jennifer. So Marcus has been using all of us, I said. Me for my father's money, Jennifer for her husband's money, and Tara for sex. That's about the size of it, David confirmed. The guy's a piece of work. I sat back, processing all of this. It was even worse than I'd thought. There's one more thing, David said. I found communication between Marcus and your father from this morning. Apparently you called your father yesterday. Yes, I said. I told him the wedding was canceled. Well, Marcus called your father this morning, David said. He told your father that the wedding is still on, that you were just upset but you're getting back together. He assured your father that he'll still deliver on the marriage and convinced your father not to cancel the money transfer. So Marcus was lying to my father too, probably trying to buy time to figure out how to get the money, even without actually marrying me. This is perfect, I said. David looked at me curiously. Perfect? How is any of this perfect? I smiled, because now I have everything I need to destroy all of them. Wednesday afternoon, I put the final phase of my plan into action. I made several phone calls. First, I called Marcus. We need to talk, I said. Vanessa, Marcus sounded surprised. I thought you were done talking to me. Can you meet me at the condo tonight? I asked. There are some things about the wedding I need to discuss. The wedding, Marcus said carefully. I thought you were canceling it. I've been thinking, I said, making my voice sound uncertain. Maybe we were too hasty. Maybe we should talk about this more before we make any final decisions. I could practically hear Marcus's brain working through the phone. He was calculating whether I was serious or whether this was a trap. Okay, Marcus said slowly. What time? 7 p.m., I said. Just you and me. We need to talk honestly about everything. I'll be there, Marcus said. I could hear the hope in his voice, the greed. He thought I was going to forgive him. He thought he was going to get my father's $2 million after all. Next, I called Tara. I owe you an apology, I said. Vanessa, Tara sounded shocked. What? I was too harsh on you yesterday, I said. You're right. You've been my best friend for 12 years. I don't want to throw that away. Can we meet and talk? Really? Tara asked hopefully. You mean it? Yes, I said. Can you come to my condo tonight around 7:15? I'll be there packing up my things. We can talk while I pack. Of course, Tara said eagerly. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you so much for giving me another chance. See you tonight, I said and hung up. Then I made one more call, to Jennifer Stevens. Hello, a woman's voice answered. Is this Jennifer Stevens? I asked. Yes, who's calling? My name is Vanessa Chen, I said. I'm Marcus Rivera's fiancé, and I think you and I need to have a conversation about him. There was a long pause. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do, I said calmly. I know about your affair with Marcus. I know about your plans to run away together, and I know about the $2 million he's planning to steal from my father. Another pause, then Jennifer said cautiously, What do you want? I want you to come to Seattle tonight, I said. I want you to meet me at my condo at 7:30 p.m. The address is 400 Pine Street, Unit 1205. I promise you it will be worth your time. Why would I do that? Jennifer asked. Because if you don't, I'm going to call your husband Thomas and tell him everything, I said. About you and Marcus. About your plan to divorce him and take his money. I have proof, Jennifer. Emails, photos, everything. Do you want your husband to find out? Or do you want to come talk to me tonight and maybe we can work something out? This is blackmail, Jennifer said. No, I corrected. This is me offering you a choice. Come tonight and we'll talk. Or don't come and I'll destroy your marriage and your plan, your choice. Fine, Jennifer said after a moment. I'll be there at 7:30. Perfect. Finally, I sent a text message to my father. From Marcus's phone, I still had access to his cloud accounts from when I'd checked his laptop. The text read, "Change of plans. Vanessa and I are getting back together. Wedding is definitely happening. Money transfer can proceed as planned. Meet me at the condo tonight at 7:45 to discuss final details. 400 Pine Street, Unit 1205. My father responded, "I'll be there." I sat back and smiled. I'd just invited everyone involved in betraying me to the same place at the same time. Marcus at 7:00 p.m., Tara at 7:15 p.m., Jennifer at 7:30 p.m., my father at 7:45 p.m. They all thought they were coming to meet with me privately. They had no idea they were walking into a trap. And I had one more surprise planned. One more guest who would arrive at 8:00 p.m. But I'd have to wait until tonight to reveal that one. Tonight, everyone who'd broken my heart was going to find out exactly what happens when you betray Vanessa Chen. Tonight, I was going to break all of their plans. Before I continue this story, kindly subscribe, like, turn on the bell, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Wednesday evening at 6:45 p.m., I stood in the living room of the condo I'd shared with Marcus, preparing for the most satisfying night of my life. I'd spent the afternoon setting up, hidden cameras in the living room, voice recorders placed strategically around the space, my lawyer on speed dial. Everything was ready. At 6:50 p.m., I heard a key in the door. Marcus walked in, dressed nicely in a button-down shirt and slacks. He'd clearly made an effort to look good. He thought this was going to be a reconciliation. "Vanessa," Marcus said, smiling cautiously. "You're here. I wasn't sure if you'd actually come." "I said I would," I replied, keeping my voice neutral. Marcus walked over to me, reaching for my hands. I let him take them, even though his touch made my skin crawl. "I'm so glad you're willing to talk about this," Marcus said. "I've been miserable these past few days. I love you, Vanessa. I know I screwed up, but we can get past this. I promise I'll never hurt you again." "We'll see about that," I said quietly. "What does that mean?" Marcus asked, his smile faltering slightly. Before I could answer, there was a knock on the door. Marcus frowned. "Are you expecting someone?" "Answer it," I said. Marcus looked confused but went to the door. He opened it. Tara was standing there, holding a bottle of wine. "Marcus," Tara said, her face going pale, "what are you doing here?" "I live here," Marcus said, equally confused. "What are you doing here?" "Vanessa invited me," Tara said, looking past Marcus at me. "She said she wanted to talk." Her voice trailed off as she saw the expression on my face. "Come in, Tara," I said calmly. Tara walked in slowly, looking between Marcus and me. "Vanessa, what's going on?" "We're all going to have a conversation," I said. "Have a seat." "I don't understand," Marcus said. "Vanessa, I thought you wanted to talk about us getting back together." "I did say that, didn't I?" I said. "I lied." Marcus's expression darkened. "What is this?" "This," I said, "is the beginning of the end of your plan." Before Marcus could respond, there was another knock on the door. Marcus and Tara both looked at the door, then at me. "You should get that," I told Marcus. Marcus went to the door and opened it. A woman I'd never met in person but recognized from David Park's photos stood there. Jennifer Stevens. "Who are you?" Marcus asked. Jennifer looked at Marcus, then passed him at me. "I'm Jennifer. I'm here to see Vanessa Chen." "Jennifer," Marcus said, his voice strangled. His face had gone completely white. "What are you doing here?" "You know each other?" Tara asked, standing up. Jennifer walked into the condo, looking around at all of us. "Apparently we all know each other, or we're about to." "Everyone, please, sit down," I said. "We have about 15 minutes before our next guest arrives." "Next guest," Marcus said, his voice rising. "Vanessa, what the hell is going on?" "Sit down," I said, my voice hard as steel. Something in my tone made all three of them sit. Marcus on the couch, Tara in the armchair, Jennifer perched on the edge of the love seat. I stood in front of them, facing all three. "Let me explain what's happening," I said calmly. 3 weeks ago, I came home early from a business trip and found Marcus and Tara in bed together. That broke my heart. But what happened next? That broke something else, my trust in humanity. "Vanessa," Marcus started. "Don't interrupt me," I said coldly. "You'll get your chance to talk, but right now you're going to listen." I pulled out my phone and opened the folder of photos I'd taken of Marcus's emails. "After I found you two together, I went through your laptop, Marcus," I said. "I found emails between you and my father, emails where he offered you $2 million to marry me, emails where you agreed to manipulate me into reconciling with my family and joining the family business." Marcus's face went from white to red. "You went through my laptop. That's a violation of..." "Of what?" I interrupted. "Your privacy. You violated a lot more than my privacy, Marcus. You violated my trust, my love, my entire future." I turned to Tara. "And you thought Marcus loved you. You thought after the wedding got canceled, you and Marcus were going to be together." Tara looked at Marcus, then at me. "Vanessa, I'm sorry, but yes, Marcus and I do love each other." "Does he?" I asked. I turned to Jennifer. "Jennifer, why don't you tell Tara who you are?" Jennifer looked uncomfortable. "I'm Marcus's girlfriend. We've been together for a year. We're planning to get married once we're both divorced from our current partners." Tara's jaw dropped. "What, Marcus, is that true?" "Tara, I can explain," Marcus started. "There's nothing to explain," I interrupted. "Marcus has been using all of us. He's been using me to get $2 million from my father. He's been using you, Tara, for sex and emotional support. And he's been using Jennifer as part of a plan to steal money from both me and her husband, then disappear to the Cayman Islands." "That's not true," Marcus shouted, standing up. "Vanessa, you're twisting everything." "Am I?" I asked. I pulled out more photos on my phone. "These are emails between you and Jennifer planning your escape, discussing how to drain my bank accounts, how to max out my credit cards, how to time everything so you could both disappear before your crimes were discovered." Jennifer's face had gone pale. "Marcus, she has our emails." "You told me those emails were encrypted," Jennifer said to Marcus, her voice rising. "You said no one could access them." "They were on his laptop," I said, "which uses the same password he's used since college. Marcus Rules 2015. Very secure." Marcus turned on me, his face twisted with rage. "You had no right to go through my private files." "And you had no right to con me into a fake marriage," I shot back. "You had no right to plot to steal everything I own. You had no right to betray me with multiple women while planning to rob me blind." "Marcus, is this true?" Tara asked, standing up. She looked devastated. "Have you been lying to me this whole time?" "Tara, listen," Marcus started. There was another knock on the door. We all froze. Marcus looked at the door, then at me. "Who else did you invite?" "Your business partner," I said. "Or should I say your accomplice, my father." I went to the door and opened it. My father stood there, looking exactly as I remembered him. Tall, imposing, in an expensive suit. His face was stern and cold. "Vanessa," my father said. Then he saw Marcus and his expression changed. "Marcus, what is she doing here?" "Come in, father," I said. "Everyone's here now." My father walked in and took in the scene. Marcus, Tara, Jennifer, all sitting in the living room looking shocked and guilty and confused. "What is this?" my father demanded. "This is a family meeting," I said. "A very dysfunctional family meeting. Father, meet Tara Williams, Marcus's mistress, and Jennifer Stevens, Marcus's other girlfriend and partner in crime." My father's eyes narrowed. "Marcus, what is she talking about?" "She's lying," Marcus said desperately. "Richard, don't listen to her. She's trying to sabotage our arrangement because she's angry about..." "About you cheating on me?" I finished. "Yes, I am angry about that. But I'm more angry about you trying to steal my father's $2 million while simultaneously planning to rob me blind. You told me the wedding was canceled, my father said to me coldly. You called me yesterday and told me you broke off the engagement. I did tell you that, I confirmed. But Marcus called you this morning and told you the wedding was still on, didn't he? My father looked at Marcus, his expression darkening. He did. That's because Marcus was lying to both of us, I explained. He was lying to you about getting me to reconcile with the family. He never tried to convince me to join the family business because he didn't care about your goals. He only cared about getting the $2 million. Is this true? My father asked Marcus, his voice dangerously quiet. Richard, I can explain, Marcus started. And he was lying to me, I continued, about everything, about loving me, about wanting to marry me. His entire plan was to marry me, take your $2 million, drain my accounts, and disappear with Jennifer here to the Cayman Islands. You weren't getting a son-in-law. You were financing his escape plan. My father turned to Marcus. In all my years, I'd rarely seen my father truly angry, but now his face was a mask of cold fury. You dared to deceive me, my father said quietly. You thought you could take my money and make a fool of me. I never meant, Marcus started. Silence, my father snapped. He pulled out his phone. I'm calling my lawyers. You'll be lucky if I don't have you arrested for fraud. You can't prove anything, Marcus said desperately. Actually, I said, pulling out my own phone, I can prove everything. I have copies of all your emails, your communications with my father, your plans with Jennifer, your financial records showing your debt, everything. Marcus looked at me with pure hatred. You bitch, you set this up. You brought all of us here to humiliate us. No, I corrected. I brought you here to expose you. There's a difference. Marcus, how could you? Tara said, tears streaming down her face. I loved you. I thought you loved me. Oh, please, Jennifer said harshly, looking at Tara. He never loved you. You were just a convenient distraction. He used you the same way he used everyone else. And what about you? Tara shot back. You think he loves you? I know he does, Jennifer said, but her voice wavered with doubt as she looked at Marcus. Does he? I asked. Jennifer, did you know that Marcus has been sleeping with Tara for over a year while planning his future with you? Did he mention that? Jennifer's face crumbled. Marcus. This is ridiculous, Marcus said, standing up. I'm not staying here and listening to this. Richard, Vanessa is obviously having some kind of breakdown. She's making up insane stories to ruin my reputation. Don't believe anything she's saying. Sit down, came a new voice from the doorway. Everyone turned. A man I'd never seen before was standing in the entrance to the living room. He was about 40, well-dressed, and looked furious. Who are you? Marcus demanded. I'm Thomas Stevens, the man said. Jennifer's husband, and I'm the person Vanessa invited as her surprise guest. Jennifer's face went completely white. Thomas, what are you doing here? Ms. Chen called me this afternoon, Thomas said, walking into the room. She told me everything, about you and Marcus, about your plan to divorce me and steal my money. She sent me proof, emails, photos, everything. Thomas, I can explain, Jennifer started. Don't, Thomas said, his voice shaking with rage. Don't insult me by trying to lie your way out of this. I've already spoken to my lawyer. Divorce papers will be filed tomorrow, and Jennifer, you're not getting a penny. I'll make sure of that. Jennifer started crying. Thomas, please. Save it, Thomas said. He turned to me. Ms. Chen, thank you for contacting me. If you hadn't, I would have been completely blindsided. You're welcome, I said. No one deserves to be betrayed the way we were. Thomas looked at Marcus with pure contempt. You're pathetic, you know that? Conning women, stealing money, you're nothing but a coward and a criminal. Get out of my house, Marcus said through gritted teeth. Actually, I said, it's not your house, it's our house. Both our names are on the lease, remember, and I'm not leaving, but you are. You can't kick me out, Marcus said. Actually, I can, I said. I pulled out another document. This is a restraining order, filed this afternoon. based on evidence of your plans to financially abuse me and steal my assets. A judge approved it. You have to leave this condo immediately and stay at least 500 feet away from me at all times." "What?" Marcus grabbed the document from my hands and read it, his face getting redder with each line. "This is bullshit. This is illegal." "It's perfectly legal," I said. "And if you don't leave in the next 5 minutes, I'm calling the police and having you arrested for violating it." Marcus looked around the room, at Tara crying in the armchair, at Jennifer being stared down by her furious husband, at my father, who was on his phone presumably calling his lawyers, at me, standing calmly in the center of the chaos I'd created. "You're going to regret this," Marcus said to me. "All of you, you think you've won? You haven't won anything. I'll fight this. I'll fight all of it." "Go ahead," I said. "Fight it. You'll lose. I have lawyers. I have evidence. I have witnesses. And most importantly, I have the truth. You can't fight the truth, Marcus. Not and win." Marcus stood there for a moment longer, shaking with rage. Then he grabbed his jacket and stormed toward the door. "Marcus, wait," Tara called after him. "Go to hell, Tara," Marcus snapped at her. "This is all your fault. If you hadn't been so clingy and obvious about the affair, Vanessa never would have come home early and none of this would have happened." Tara's face crumpled. Marcus slammed out of the condo without another word. Silence fell over the room. Then Jennifer stood up, gave Thomas one last pleading look that he ignored, and left without saying anything. Tara remained in the armchair, crying. My father was still on his phone, speaking in low, angry tones to his lawyer. Thomas looked at me. "What are you going to do now?" "Now," I said, "I'm going to systematically dismantle everything Marcus built and make sure he never hurts anyone again." "How?" Thomas asked. I smiled. "I'm a lawyer, Mr. Stevens. Destroying people's lives when they deserve it is what I do best." 2 hours later, everyone had left except Tara. She was still sitting in the armchair, staring at nothing, tears dried on her face. "You should go," I said to her quietly. "I can't believe he never loved me," Tara said, her voice hollow. "A year, more than a year of my life, I destroyed our friendship for him, and he never loved me at all." "No," I agreed, "he didn't." "Did you know?" Tara asked. "When you found us together, did you already know about Jennifer?" "No," I said. "I found out later, after I went through his laptop." "So you went through all this trouble, gathering evidence, bringing everyone here tonight, just for revenge?" Tara asked. "Not just revenge," I said. "Justice, there's a difference." "Is there?" Tara asked bitterly. "It feels the same to me." "That's because you were complicit," I said. "Tara, you slept with my fiancé. For over a year, you betrayed me. Maybe Marcus never loved you, but you still made the choice to hurt me. So no, I don't feel sorry for you." Tara stood up. She looked at me with eyes that were simultaneously angry and devastated. "You're right. I did betray you. I don't deserve your forgiveness. But Vanessa, I really did love him. I know that doesn't matter to you. I know it doesn't change what I did. But I want you to know, I genuinely thought we had something real." "That's the problem with loving a liar," I said. "You never know what's real." Tara nodded. She walked to the door, then turned back. "For what it's worth, I am sorry. Not just that I got caught, but genuinely sorry that I hurt you. You deserved better, from both of us." After Tara left, I stood alone in the condo. My condo now, Marcus wouldn't be coming back. I looked around at the space we'd shared. The couch where we'd watched movies together. The kitchen where we'd cooked dinners. The pictures on the walls of happy moments that I now knew were all lies. I felt tired, exhausted actually, but also satisfied. I'd done it. I'd exposed Marcus. I'd humiliated everyone who'd betrayed me. I'd broken all of their plans. But I wasn't done yet. Tonight was just the beginning. Tomorrow, I was going to make sure Marcus paid for everything he'd done. And I was going to make sure he never did it to anyone else. The morning after the confrontation, I woke up in my condo now, not our condo, feeling more clear-headed than I had in weeks. The heartbreak was still there, but it had transformed into something else, something powerful. Purpose. Marcus had broken my heart, but I was about to break his entire life. And by the end of this chapter, you'll see exactly how I did it. Thursday morning at 9 a.m., I walked into my law firm with 3 thick folders. My boss, Patricia H. Wang, the senior partner, was waiting for me in her office. "Vanessa, come in," Patricia said. "I heard about what happened with Marcus. I'm so sorry." "Don't be sorry," I said, setting the folders on her desk. "Be ready to help me destroy him." Patricia raised an eyebrow. "What do you have?" I opened the first folder. Evidence of fraud. Marcus entered into an agreement with my father to marry me in exchange for $2 million. He never disclosed this to me. The marriage would have been fraudulent from the start. I opened the second folder. Evidence of attempted financial exploitation. Marcus and his girlfriend Jennifer Stevens planned to drain my bank accounts, max out my credit cards, and disappear. I have emails, texts, and recorded phone conversations outlining their entire plan. I opened the third folder. And evidence of embezzlement. Marcus has been using our joint credit card for personal expenses that he claimed were business-related. He's been essentially stealing from me for 2 years. Patricia looked through the folders, her expression growing more impressed with each page. "Vanessa, this is comprehensive. How did you gather all this in less than a week?" "I hired the best private investigator in Seattle," I said, "and I'm very motivated." "What do you want to do with all this?" Patricia asked. "I want to file 3 lawsuits," I said. 1 civil suit against Marcus for fraud and financial exploitation, 1 criminal complaint for embezzlement and theft, and 1 lawsuit against my father for conspiracy to commit fraud. Patricia's eyes widened. "You're suing your father." "He bribed my fiancé to marry me without my knowledge or consent," I said. "That's conspiracy to commit fraud. He treated me like property. I want him to face consequences for that." "Vanessa, going after your own father, that's going to be brutal," Patricia warned. "Are you sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything in my life," I said. Patricia nodded slowly. "All right, let's do it. I'll assign our best litigation team to this. We'll have the papers filed by end of business today." "Thank you," I said. "There's one more thing. I want to report Marcus to the Washington State Bar Association." "The Bar Association," Patricia said, confused. "Why?" "Because Marcus isn't actually a financial consultant," I said, pulling out another document. "He's a licensed attorney, or he was. He took the bar exam 7 years ago and passed, but he never told me he was a lawyer. He let me think he was a financial consultant." "Why would he hide that?" Patricia asked. "Because," I said, "if he'd told me he was a lawyer, I might have looked into his background. I might have discovered that he was disbarred in California for embezzling client funds before moving to Washington and taking the bar exam here under a different name." Patricia's jaw dropped. "He's been practicing law under false pretenses." "Not practicing," I said. "He doesn't actually work as a lawyer, probably because he's afraid someone will recognize him. But he never disclosed his California disbarment when he took the Washington bar exam. That's fraud, and it's grounds for permanent disbarment." "You want to destroy his legal career before it even starts," Patricia said. "I want to make sure he can never do this to anyone else," I corrected. "If he's disbarred, it goes on permanent record. Anyone who Googles him will find it. He'll never be able to con another woman the way he conned me." Patricia looked at me with a mixture of respect and slight concern. "Vanessa, remind me never to get on your bad side." "Too late," I said with a cold smile. "You're on my good side, and that's where you want to stay." Thursday afternoon, I was back at the condo packing up Marcus's remaining belongings when there was a knock on the door. I opened it to find Jennifer Stevens standing there. She looked terrible, red eyes, no makeup, wearing sweatpants and a hoodie. "Vanessa," Jennifer said, "can we talk?" "I don't have anything to say to you," I said, starting to close the door. "Please," Jennifer said desperately. "Just 5 minutes, I need to tell you something." Against my better judgment, I let her in. Jennifer sat on the couch, looking around the condo. "Thomas kicked me out. I'm staying at a hotel. He's filing for divorce. His lawyers say I won't get anything, not the house, not his money, nothing. He's claiming I committed fraud by hiding my assets and income during the marriage. Good, I said flatly. I deserve that, Jennifer said. I know I do. But Vanessa, I need you to know Marcus lied to me too. I don't care, I said. Please just listen, Jennifer begged. Marcus told me you two had an arrangement, a business arrangement. He said your marriage was basically a transaction. You got a husband to make your father happy. He got financial security. He said you didn't love each other. He said it was basically a green card marriage except for money instead of citizenship. I stared at her. And you believed that? Yes, Jennifer said. He was very convincing. He showed me text messages between you where you sounded cold and distant. He told me you knew about me, that you were fine with it as long as he went through with the wedding. He showed you fake text messages, I said. He photoshopped them or created fake conversations to show you. I never knew about you until this week. I know that now, Jennifer said, crying. But at the time, I believed him. And Vanessa, there's something else, something worse. What could possibly be worse? I asked. Marcus is gone, Jennifer said. He left Seattle, disappeared, and I think he took money from other people too. I felt cold dread wash over me. What do you mean? 2 days ago, before your big confrontation, Marcus asked me to wire him $50,000, Jennifer said. He said it was to cover some business expenses before we left the country. I did it. I transferred $50,000 from my personal account to his. And, I prompted. And after he stormed out last night, I tried calling him, Jennifer continued. His phone is disconnected. I went to his office this morning. He hasn't shown up. I talked to his coworker, a woman named Sarah Martinez. She told me Marcus borrowed $20,000 from her last month, said it was for a business investment. He promised to pay her back in 2 weeks. He never did. I sat down heavily. How many other people did he con? I don't know, Jennifer said. But Sarah told me about a networking group Marcus was part of, other financial consultants and entrepreneurs. She thinks he might have borrowed money from several of them. She's trying to contact them all now. So Marcus didn't just con me, I said. He's been running financial scams on multiple people. I think so, Jennifer said. And I think when you exposed him last night, he realized he was about to be caught. So he took whatever money he could access and ran. Did you report this to the police? I asked. Yes, Jennifer said. I filed a report this morning. But they said unless he committed fraud or theft, there's not much they can do. Borrowing money isn't illegal. But running a con is, I said, my mind racing. If we can prove he deliberately defrauded multiple people, got money under false pretenses with no intention of repaying it, that's criminal fraud. That's why I came here, Jennifer said. You're a lawyer. You know how to build these cases. Can you help? Can you help me and Sarah and whoever else Marcus stole from get justice? I looked at Jennifer. Part of me wanted to tell her to go to hell. She'd been sleeping with my fiancé, planning to help him rob me. Why should I help her? But then I thought about it. Marcus had played Jennifer just like he'd played me. She'd been lied to and manipulated. And if he'd conned multiple people, then this was bigger than just my personal revenge. This was about stopping a predator. I'll help, I said, but on one condition. Anything, Jennifer said. You testify against him, I said. About everything, the affair, the plan to steal from me, the money you gave him, all of it. You cooperate fully with the police and with my lawsuits. I will, Jennifer promised. Vanessa, I know I helped him hurt you. I know saying I'm sorry doesn't fix that, but I am sorry, and I want to help you stop him from hurting anyone else. By Friday afternoon, I'd contacted Sarah Martinez and put together a meeting with all of Marcus's potential victims. 7 people showed up at my law firm's conference room. Sarah Martinez, $20, 000 borrowed and never repaid. David Kim, $15, 000 invested in a business opportunity that never materialized. Linda Torres, $30, borrowed for emergency medical expenses that Marcus never actually had. James Chen, no relation to me, $25,000 loaned for a real estate investment that was completely fake. Rachel Anderson, $10,000 borrowed for car repairs after a supposed accident that never happened. Michael Foster, $35,000 invested in a startup that didn't exist. And Jennifer Stevens, $50,000 transferred 2 days ago. In total, Marcus had stolen $185,000 from 7 people in the past 6 months alone. And that didn't include the money he'd embezzled from me or the $2 million he'd been planning to steal from my father. We need to go to the police with all of this, I told the group. This isn't just civil fraud anymore. This is criminal. Marcus has been running a systematic con operation. Will they actually do anything? Sarah asked skeptically. The police told me and Jennifer that borrowing money isn't a crime. It is when you get it through fraud, I explained. If we can prove Marcus lied about why he needed the money, that he never intended to repay it, that he had a pattern of targeting people systematically, that's criminal fraud. The police will have to investigate. How do we prove that? James asked. We document everything, I said. Every interaction you had with Marcus, every text message, every email, every promise he made, every lie he told. We build a timeline showing his pattern of behavior, and then we present it to the police and the prosecutor's office. Over the next 3 hours, we compiled everything. The evidence was overwhelming. Marcus had told different lies to different people, but the pattern was clear. He'd gain someone's trust, create a fake financial emergency, get money, then disappear. He was a con artist, a professional one, and he'd been doing this for years. Monday morning, I got a call from Detective Maria Hernandez of the Seattle Police Department's Financial Crimes Unit. Ms. Chen, we've reviewed all the evidence you submitted, Detective Hernandez said. We're issuing an arrest warrant for Marcus Rivera on multiple counts of fraud, embezzlement, and theft. Have you found him? I asked. Not yet, Detective Hernandez admitted. But we will. We've flagged his passport. We've frozen his known bank accounts. We've put out an alert to airports, border crossings, and hotels. He can't hide forever. What about my father? I asked. Richard Chen, is he being investigated too? Yes, Detective Hernandez said. We're looking into the bribery arrangement between him and Marcus Rivera. That's a separate investigation, but it's ongoing. Thank you, I said. Ms. Chen, I have to ask, Detective Hernandez said. How did you figure all this out so quickly? Most fraud victims don't realize they've been conned until months or years later. You pieced this together in less than a week. I'm a lawyer, I said, and I'm very, very motivated. Detective Hernandez laughed. I can tell. Marcus Rivera picked the wrong person to con. 2 weeks after the arrest warrant was issued, Marcus was caught trying to board a flight to Mexico from San Diego using a fake passport. He was arrested, extradited back to Seattle, and charged with 17 counts of fraud, 3 counts of embezzlement, 2 counts of identity theft for the fake passport and his false bar application, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit theft. His bail was set at $500,000. He couldn't pay it. He sat in jail. I went to the jail to see him. I wanted to look him in the eye one more time. Marcus was brought into the visiting room in an orange jumpsuit, his hands cuffed. He looked terrible, thin, unshaven, defeated. He sat down across from me, separated by plexiglass. He picked up the phone. I picked up mine. Vanessa, Marcus said, his voice was hoarse. You came. I wanted to see you like this, I said. I wanted to see what happens to people who break my heart. You destroyed my life, Marcus said. You turned everyone against me. You got me arrested. You made sure I lost everything. No, Marcus, I corrected. You destroyed your own life. You made the choice to con me, to con all those other people, to commit crimes. I just made sure you faced the consequences. I loved you, Marcus said. That was real. Whatever else I did, that was real. No, it wasn't, I said. Love doesn't lie, love doesn't cheat, love doesn't steal. Whatever you felt for me, it wasn't love, it was just greed. What do you want from me? Marcus asked. An apology. Fine, I'm sorry for everything. Does that make you feel better? No, I said honestly. Your apology means nothing. You're only sorry you got caught. Then why are you here? Marcus demanded. To tell you that I won, I said simply. You tried to break me, you tried to use me, you tried to steal from me, but I broke you instead. And Marcus, you're going to spend the next 10 years in prison thinking about how you messed with the wrong woman. 10 years, Marcus said, his face going pale. That's what my lawyer friends in the prosecutor's office tell me, I said. With 17 counts of fraud and all the evidence against you, you're looking at 10 to 15 years minimum. Marcus put his head in his hands. My life is over. No, I said. Your life as a con artist is over. Maybe prison will give you time to figure out how to be an actual human being. I stood up to leave. Vanessa, wait, Marcus said. Can I ask you one thing? What? Do you hate me? Marcus asked. I thought about it. No, I said finally. I don't hate you. I don't feel anything for you at all. You're nothing to me now, less than nothing. I hung up the phone and walked out without looking back. 3 months after Marcus's arrest, everything was settled. Marcus pled guilty to all charges in exchange for a reduced sentence of 12 years. He'd be eligible for parole after 8. My father settled the civil lawsuit against him for $500,000, not as much as the $2 million he'd offered Marcus, but enough to cover my legal fees and compensate me for emotional damages. He also agreed to stay out of my life permanently. I was fine with that. Jennifer's divorce from Thomas was finalized. She got nothing, as Thomas had promised. Last I heard, she'd moved to Portland and was working as a waitress. Tara had left Seattle entirely. She'd moved to Chicago to stay with family. We never spoke again. As for me, I got my life back. The condo was fully mine now. My bank accounts were secure. My career was thriving. But more than that, I got something else. Self-respect, confidence, the knowledge that when someone tried to destroy me, I was strong enough to fight back and win. 6 months after finding Marcus in bed with Tara, I was sitting in my condo, my space, my home, when I got an unexpected visitor. There was a knock on the door. I opened it to find Thomas Stevens standing there, holding a bottle of wine. Thomas, I said, surprised, what are you doing here? I was in Seattle for business, Thomas said. I thought I'd stop by and say thank you, again. You already thanked me, I said, multiple times. I know, Thomas said, but I wanted to do it in person. Vanessa, you saved me from making the biggest mistake of my life. If you hadn't told me about Jennifer, I would have stayed married to her. She would have stolen everything. You saved me. I was saving myself, I said. You were just collateral benefit. Still, Thomas said, can I take you to dinner, as a thank you? I hesitated, then I smiled. Sure, why not? We went to dinner. We talked about everything, our horrible ex-partners, our careers, our lives. We laughed about the absurdity of the situation that had brought us together. At the end of the night, Thomas walked me back to my building. I had a really good time tonight, Thomas said. Me too, I admitted. Can I see you again? Thomas asked. Not because I'm grateful, but because I genuinely enjoyed spending time with you. I thought about it. 6 months ago, I'd been engaged to a man who'd betrayed me in every way possible. I'd been heartbroken and devastated. But I'd fought back. I'd won. And now I was standing here, stronger than I'd ever been, with someone who actually seemed genuine asking me out. Yes, I said, I'd like that. Thomas smiled. How about next weekend, if you're free? I'm free, I said. He left. I went inside my condo, poured myself a glass of wine, and sat on my balcony looking out at the Seattle skyline. Marcus had broken my heart. He and Tara and my father and Jennifer had all tried to break me. But I'd broken their plans instead. I destroyed Marcus's freedom, my father's control, Jennifer's marriage, and Tara's delusions. And in the process, I discovered something important. I didn't need a man to complete me. I didn't need my father's approval. I didn't need a best friend who'd betray me. I was complete all on my own. But that didn't mean I couldn't open my heart again to someone who deserved it this time. My name is Vanessa Chen. I'm a successful corporate lawyer. 6 months ago, the people I trusted most in the world betrayed me. They broke my heart. But I broke their plans. And I won. This story teaches us. Sparkle's betrayal can come from the people closest to you. Sparkle's evidence is more powerful than emotion. Sparkle's strategic revenge beats emotional revenge. Sparkle's con artists often have multiple victims. Sparkle's standing up for yourself inspires others to do the same. Sparkle's heartbreak can be transformed into strength. Sparkle's trust should be earned, not freely given. Sparkle's you can rebuild your life after devastation. If this story moved you, subscribe for more powerful revenge and justice stories. White heavy checkmark, smash that like button. Turn on notifications. Drop a comment. Was Vanessa's revenge justified or too extreme? Would you have forgiven Marcus or destroyed him? Where are you watching from? United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Australia, Philippines, Kenya, Jamaica. Remember, cheaters rarely cheat with just one person. Document everything when you suspect betrayal. Con artists follow patterns, look for them. Standing up to betrayal inspires other victims to come forward. You're stronger than you think. Heartbreak can fuel powerful change. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, investigate. Strategic planning beats emotional reactions. You can rebuild after betrayal and come back stronger. Never let anyone make you feel like you deserve abuse. Fight back legally and intelligently. Expose predators to protect others. Thank you for following Vanessa's journey from heartbreak to victory.